Have you ever woken up feeling on top of the world? Or perhaps you have started your day under a gray cloud for no clear reason. These shifts in our internal state can seem quite random. One moment, we might feel optimistic and energetic. The next, a subtle sense of unease or flatness can creep in. This internal emotional weather is a common part of human experience. It often arrives unannounced, without an obvious external trigger to explain its presence. Understanding these changes is the first step to navigating them. These background states significantly color our perception of the day. When we are in a positive mood, challenges may seem more manageable. Conversely, a low mood can make small setbacks feel like major disasters. It is as if we are wearing mood-tinted glasses. These glasses change how we see and react to everything around us. This influence is powerful, yet often operates beneath our full awareness. Recognizing this shared human trait can be comforting. It reminds us that we are not alone in experiencing these internal ebbs and flows. Let us begin this journey of discovery into the fascinating realm of our moods and feelings. To truly understand our inner landscape, we must first clarify some key terms. These are emotions, moods, and feelings. People often use these words interchangeably in everyday conversation. However, in science, they have distinct meanings. Grasping these differences is crucial for a clearer understanding. Emotions are typically intense but relatively brief responses. They are usually linked to a specific event or stimulus. Think of the jolt of fear from a sudden loud noise, or the burst of joy at good news. Moods, on the other hand, are quite different from these acute emotional episodes. A mood is a more diffuse, affective state. It is generally less intense than an emotion, but lasts much longer. Moods can persist for hours, days, or even longer periods. Unlike emotions, moods are not always tied to a specific, identifiable trigger. You might wake up feeling irritable for no apparent reason. This general sense of irritability is a mood. Feelings represent our conscious, subjective experience of emotions and moods. When an emotion is triggered or a mood is present, feelings are how we become aware of it. Understanding this framework helps us to analyze our internal experiences more accurately. One of the defining characteristics of moods is their duration. Unlike emotions, which can be fleeting, moods tend to linger. An emotion like surprise might last only a few seconds. A flash of anger might pass in minutes. However, a mood, such as a general sense of contentment or a persistent feeling of gloominess, can extend over several hours. In some cases, a particular mood might even define a whole day or a series of days. This extended time frame is a key differentiator. Another important characteristic of moods is their intensity level. Compared to the sharp peak of an emotion, moods are generally less intense. Think of emotions as a sudden loud sound in an otherwise quiet room. In contrast, moods are more like the constant low hum of an appliance. They are part of the background, a subtle coloring of our experience. This lower intensity does not mean they are insignificant. Their persistent nature means they can have a profound cumulative effect on our thoughts and behavior. These background states are the gentle undercurrents. They subtly direct the flow of our daily lives, influencing how we engage with the world and the people in it. To better understand and categorize moods, scientists often use two key dimensions. These dimensions are valence and arousal. Thinking about moods in terms of these two factors helps us map them out. It provides a more structured way to describe our internal affective states. Valence refers to the inherent pleasantness or unpleasantness of the mood. Essentially, it asks, is this mood positive or negative? It is the qualitative aspect of the mood, its intrinsic attractiveness or aversiveness. A mood with positive valence is one that feels good. Examples include feeling happy, content, cheerful, or relaxed. Conversely, a mood with negative valence is one that feels bad. This includes feeling sad, anxious, irritable, or bored. So, the valence dimension places a mood on a spectrum from very pleasant to very unpleasant. The second dimension is arousal. Arousal refers to the intensity or energy level associated with the mood. It describes how activated or energized we feel. A high arousal mood means we feel alert, active, and perhaps even agitated. A low arousal mood means we feel calm, sluggish, or even sleepy. Understanding these dimensions allows for a more nuanced description of our mood states. This framework is valuable for both personal insight and scientific research. The orchestra of influences, what shapes our moods. Our moods are not formed in a vacuum. They are the result of a complex interplay of various factors. These influences can be broadly categorized into biological, psychological, social, and environmental factors. Think of them as different sections of an orchestra, each contributing to the overall symphony of our mood. Biological factors play a fundamental role. These include our brain chemistry, particularly neurotransmitters like serotonin, dopamine, and noradrenaline. Hormonal fluctuations, such as those related to the menstrual cycle or thyroid function, also significantly impact mood. Our physical health, sleep quality, diet, and exercise habits are also key biological contributors. Psychological factors are equally important in shaping our moods. Our thought patterns have a powerful effect. Persistent negative thinking or rumination can sustain a low mood. Conversely, optimistic thinking can foster a more positive, affective state. Stress is a major psychological influence. Chronic stress can deplete our resources and lead to negative moods. Social factors also exert a strong influence on our day-to-day moods. The quality of our relationships is paramount. Supportive and positive social connections can buffer against stress and promote positive moods. Understanding these diverse influences helps us appreciate the multifaceted nature of our moods. Feelings unveiled. Our conscious emotional experience. While emotions can be raw, physiological responses, feelings are a step beyond this. You see, feelings represent our conscious awareness and personal interpretation of these emotional states. When an emotion is triggered, perhaps by an external event or an internal thought, it is the feeling that brings this experience into our conscious mind. It's how we know what we're experiencing emotionally. This involves a cognitive process. Our brain actively works to make sense of the signals it receives from the body and the context. The development of a feeling involves labeling the emotion. We might experience a rapid heartbeat and shallow breathing, physiological signs of an emotion like fear or excitement. Our brain then assesses the situation. If we're about to give a speech, we might label this as feeling nervous. If we're on a roller coaster, we might label it as feeling thrilled. This labeling process is crucial. It transforms a more generalized bodily state into a specific named feeling. This allows us to communicate our internal state to ourselves and to others. Feelings are inherently subjective and personal. Distinguishing emotions from feelings, a clearer view. It's important to continually reinforce the distinction between emotions and feelings. While closely related, they occupy different stages in our affective processing. Emotions are often considered the more primitive and primary responses. They're deeply rooted in our biology and evolution, designed to help us react quickly to our environment. Think of the fight or flight response. This is driven by the emotion of fear. Emotions often manifest physically first, like a racing heart, tensed muscles, or a change in breathing pattern. They can occur even before we're consciously aware of them. Feelings, in contrast, emerge as our brain processes and interprets these initial emotional signals. They are the conscious, subjective experience that follows the emotion. If an emotion is the raw data from our senses and body, then a feeling is the processed information. It's the meaning we assign to that raw data. This processing involves higher-level cognitive functions. It's in the realm of feelings that we label, understand, and reflect upon what's happening internally. The mind's lens, cognitive appraisal, and our feelings. The process by which our thoughts shape our feelings is known as cognitive appraisal. This is a crucial concept in understanding our emotional lives. Cognitive appraisal refers to the way we interpret and evaluate an event, situation, or even an internal sensation. It's the personal meaning we assign to what is happening. This appraisal process happens very quickly, often automatically. Yet, it has a profound impact on the type and intensity of the feelings we subsequently experience. It's as if our mind acts like a lens, focusing and shaping the raw emotional input. This appraisal process directly influences our feelings in response to any given stimulus. An event itself is often neutral until we interpret it. For example, imagine you receive an ambiguous text message from a friend. If your cognitive appraisal is, "They must be upset with me," you might start to feel anxious or worried. However, if your appraisal is, "They're probably just busy," you might feel calm or indifferent. The event is the same, an ambiguous text, but the resulting feeling is entirely different based on your interpretation. Living with our inner states, moods, feelings, and well-being. Our moods and feelings are not isolated phenomena. They profoundly influence our daily lives. A prevailing mood, such as a subtle sense of irritability, can act like a filter. It colors how we perceive and react to everyday events. Neutral interactions might be interpreted negatively. A simple request from a colleague could feel like an unreasonable demand. This can lead to feelings of frustration or annoyance, even when the situation itself is benign. Our mood sets the stage for the kinds of feelings we're more likely to experience throughout the day. Conversely, a positive mood can have a wonderfully beneficial spillover effect. When we're in a generally cheerful or optimistic mood, we tend to interpret ambiguous situations more positively. We might be more resilient in the face of minor setbacks. A challenging task might feel like an exciting opportunity rather than a daunting burden. This positive mood can foster feelings of confidence, enthusiasm, and connection with others. It can broaden our thinking, making us more creative and open to new experiences. This interplay between moods and feelings constantly shapes our decisions, behavior, and relationships. If we're in a low mood, we might avoid social interactions, leading to feelings of loneliness. This can then reinforce the low mood. Understanding these dynamics is paramount for our overall well-being and mental health.